Hello, you awesome freaks. Welcome to another video blog. And as you may have noticed quite recently, I've decided to take the journey of going down the vegan route or the vegan lifestyle. And so today I just wanted to cover the two undeniable or the main reasons causes or case, the two reasons why veganism makes a strong case to switching, and when I say switching, I mean from a meat or animal products based diet to a plant-based diet like veganism. So veganism definitely makes a strong case for this, and there's two main reasons. And the first reason for this is, number one, health. Okay, of all the research that I've done and all the studies that I've looked into so far, I haven't found one case where a meat-based diet or animal products-based diet comes out on top of that of a plant-based diet. All the research that I've seen shows that when you compare, the two diets next to each other, the two lifestyles next to each other, the vegan-based lifestyle always comes out tops in terms of diseases and chronic medical conditions and things like that. So, whether it's for heart disease, cancer, all those types of conditions that most people on the common Western diet get these days, it seems to be undeniable. Like, I've asked people, I've put it out there, I've said, if you can find me studies that show that a meat-based diet with vegetables, versus just a vegetable or plant-based diet is better. If you can find me a meat and plant-based diet, research shows that that's better, or better for your health and in preventing and treating diseases than just a plant-based diet is, I'd love to see that data. And I can never ever get any replies or responses back about that, nor do I find any data. Now, the more and more I read and the more I look into plant-based diets, the more and more the case just gets stronger and stronger to move to a plant-based diet, which is why I am busy making the switch and trying it out. So, just to give an example, this is one book that I've read, and before I even thought about veganism or turning to veganism, I was reading books like this, just to get a broader perspective of things. Because if you don't know my background, I am a bit of a gym bunny, and I love my protein, I love my meat, and I love working out. And so you've got that whole case that you need to stick with meat, in order to support that lifestyle. But I wanted to hear both sides of the story, so I started reading other sides of things. And yeah, it's undeniable, where I get a lot of bro science and conflicting opinions and things like that when it comes to meat and protein and all of that. When it comes to plant-based diets, vegetables, fruits, all the healthy types of whole plants and foods that you get, I mean, take a look at this book, for example. This section here is just research. These are all links to the research and studies used in this book that make the case for a plant-based diet, and against a animal products-based diet. I mean, I never get this much data and research and links when I try and speak to people or confront them about a meat-based diet. I can never get that much information back from them. Usually it's one or two anecdotal studies or some experience or word of mouth or some blog post that you get. So, and this is just one book of many. There's a whole bunch of other ones that I haven't even read yet, but if you look through them, their studies, their links, their references are solid. So, that's as far as I've got so far in terms of health, but it's definitely a strong case, and that's why, from a health point of view, it makes sense. But let's say you're someone like me that loves to enjoy sort of the hedonistic side of things in life, so maybe now and then you want to drink, or maybe, now and then you would like to make an exception and eat a bit of meat and things like that. So let's say we were basing it just on the health benefits, and you're like, I can sacrifice, a few pieces of meat here and there every now and then. So I might just include it, even though I'll live mainly a healthy plant-based diet. Well, then you get to the second reason, which is a strong driving force for switching to veganism, and that is the ethical reason. And when I say the ethical reason, I'm talking about specifically the way that the meat is produced. So a lot of people haven't got a clue where this meat comes from. They don't think about it, or they might have an idea and they don't want to think about it. But with the way that animals are factory farmed and treated, and the way they live their lives, it's just totally inhumane. It's torture, it's horrific conditions, it's miserable for them. It's just the absolute mistreatment of animals, right? And that's before they even get killed. The killing process is another, horror story about how they kill these animals. And no matter which way you look at it, if you want to say, oh well, maybe you should try halal and that, either way, it all involves some sort of really horrific method of killing the animal, in order to, to kill them and to make the meat. So, and then there's a whole lot that goes into it. So you might think, okay, well then you could just stop eating meat, and you could go maybe vegetarian, and you could eat maybe eggs and milk and that kind of stuff, and that way the animal doesn't get killed. Well, the animal still gets mistreated, and I'm not going to go into that now. Vegans discuss this, ad nauseum. About the mistreatment of animals and the conditions they're kept in, even if it's just for milk and eggs and things like that. So you can find more stuff like that on the internet, and I'll certainly do videos on that in the future. But I just wanted to explain why there's two strong reasons for turning to veganism. So the first one is for the health implications, which is crystal clear and as day, or clear as day, or crystal clear. And then the second one is obviously the ethical reasons, right? And those two are undeniable. It's undeniable that the animals are mistreated while they're being raised, and then when they're killed, and it's undeniable the health benefits of switching to a plant-based diet, right? And obviously these animals are also pumped through with things like hormones and medicine and medication, to make them live longer, and because they get stressed out a lot, they're pushed past their kind of natural genetic potential by being pumped full of hormones and steroids, so that they can produce more milk, they can produce more eggs, that they can, they get bigger and fatter, so that they can produce more meat when they're killed. So yeah, those are the two cases that definitely make a case for veganism, and that's what's pushing me in the direction of veganism. I've just done my first non-animal products shop at the grocery store this week, so I'm going to put up a video for that online as well, just to show you how I've kind of replaced meat and what I've found to replace the meat products. But those were the two reasons making the case for veganism. Now, just to give a bit of balance, I want to also just give you one reason why, or it's not a very strong reason, but it's a funny one, why you probably don't want to switch to veganism. And that's because they can get a little bit cultish, right? It's a lot like the CrossFit guys and things like that. Now, I do understand why. Veganism, the vegans are trying to make a strong case, for the animals. Even if it's not for their own health, at least for the animals, they're trying to, make the strong case. But they do come across as aggressive, they do come across as pushy and preachy and that kind of stuff. So hopefully I'm not going to get in, too far on that side of things if I do go the vegan route. But yeah, so they do come across like that, and it's probably one of the more, I wouldn't say negative, but just, one of the downsides of being veganism. But I certainly understand it as well, because it's almost like a religion. If you speak to someone and you say to them, well, God doesn't exist, they get their backs up, they want to argue with you, they want to take you into this whole long tirade explaining their case. And it's the same when you kind of confront people or put them in their place with regards to animal products and meat. It's like religion. They don't want to hear it, they're in denial, it threatens everything they know. So I guess vegans have to be a bit more pushy and persistent, because people like to be ignorant and deny the truth and that kind of stuff. So anyway, those are the two reasons why there's definitely a strong case to switch to veganism. And yeah, I mean, for me, in terms of just my values and my beliefs, it's going to be hard kind of to ignore that. So I think this is probably a route that I'm going to take, and I'm living the vegan lifestyle for the next, well, as far as I know, moving forward now, just to see what it's like. But I'll make a decision about whether I actually switch or not once I've got a full evaluation and lived it for a while, and I'll certainly keep you posted on that. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.